Hi there, it's Sherry Shattuck, aka Catherine in Death Spa. If you thought I was scary then, you should see me now. So Tommy wanted to let me know that all he really wants is a good interview and a blowjob, to which I respond, who doesn't? So I know you're wondering, like me, which one Tommy will get. So tune in soon and enjoy the show.
Hey dudes, welcome to Splat from the Past, the only 80s themed horror sci-fi show where things could get totally radical. Now today, I will be welcoming one of the most gorgeous women that was on the screen in B-movies in the late 80s, early 90s, and I'm talking about Delia Sheppard. Yes, Delia Sheppard. I was able to find her on LinkedIn. I've been wanting to interview her for a long time, and I finally found her. She was in such classics as Witchcraft 2, The Temptress, Sex Bomb, Haunting Fear, Roots of Evil, and of course a lot of you mainstream audiences know her as Karen in Rocky V. And she was also Josie of Josie and the Pussycats in The Adventures of Ford Fairlane, the Andrew Dice Clay movie. I've already had Monique Mannon, another Pussycat, on, and now I will have Delia Sheppard as well. And she's also been in Penthouse. She's been a model. She studied improv at the Groundlings, which I'm so excited to be talking about as well. And it's going to be a really great, interesting show, I think. So yeah, here is my interview with Delia Sheppard. Hi, Delia.
Hey, how you doing, Tommy?
I am great. How are you?
Oh, I'm fine. No complaints.
That is awesome. That is awesome. This is such a great honor. Thank you for taking the time today.
Oh, no worries. I have lots of time right now.
Yeah, we all have nothing but time right now.
I know. I wish I could sell it.
Yeah. So, going back in time, I was reading that you started studying ballet at the age of 9.
Yeah, that's correct.
Yeah, were you on the trajectory of becoming a ballerina?
I did my share of that. I sure did. I mean, I grew up kind of a tomboy, just, tree climbing and
Nice.
stuff like that until my mother took me to see the ballet. And I was sold. And I said, that's what I want to do. I want to be on stage with beautiful boys carrying me,
Yeah.
light as a feather. So that became an obsession from age 9. It was really my, my oxygen. And it got me onto the stage, which I never really aspired to. But I got hooked on that spotlight and really, really enjoyed a good career until the mid-'80s, late 80s, dancing first. So I went to the Royal Danish Ballet, which was a great honor. It was a very powerful company at the time. The guys were tall. I am tall for a dancer, so the guys being taller in Denmark, that kind of gave me an opportunity to still be on my toes, on point, and still be able to be partnered by the tall fellows.
Mm-hmm.
So there I was, with the bleeding toes, making very little money as a ballerina, and a scout from Paris saw me in Copenhagen, and they plucked me away from classical ballet to the more cabaret style of the Lido de Paris in the mid-'80s. So I hung up my dancing shoes, my point shoes as such, and put on some high-heeled shoes.
Yeah, was that...
That was great to be in Paris, in my 20s. Such a vibrant time.
Yeah. Was it a good experience overall?
What's that?
Was it a good experience overall to be a dancer?
Yes, absolutely. I mean, just, the discipline itself, I've carried on into my life, from those early years, because it takes a tremendous amount of discipline to succeed in it. So many people try to make a career out of it, but it's so competitive. So I was very blessed to be noticed, to be diligent, and to get the lead roles. So you're playing dress up, you're becoming a character, so it's a great way of naturally kind of a shy person.
Mm-hmm.
You have this stage to be larger than life on, and still not be reachable by the audience, but to be kind of a fantasy. So of course it was amazing to be in Paris in those years and be recognized as an international cabaret star.
Yeah.
And that made me curious about taking acting and becoming a more full-fledged character on stage, in dance even. So the Comédie Française became an option. So I started doing the Comédie Française, Marcel Marceau, mime classes, and that, of course, segued into eventually wanting to really pursue the acting side of it.
Yeah. And you were also modeling at the same time, right?
It was a given. I'm 6 feet tall practically, and I was so slender from doing 2 shows a night. I was just groomed to be on the runway without even realizing it until I was approached, by Dior to do their collections, and then that went from Dior to Lagerfeld to Chanel. So, you're doing whatever you can do and make the money and put it away. I was pretty good at saving money from the get-go. So I was cranking it out in the 80s. I was flying to Milan and doing the collections and then back to my contract. So it was a fabulous time.
And you were even the April 1988 Penthouse Pen of the Month as well.
Oh, that was a whole other thing. I never even seen a Penthouse magazine, but, people were just drawn to the possibility of making a buck with me. So I was approached by so many different options and made some good ones, made some silly ones, but the decisions were always, kind of up to me. And I didn't have a manager hanging over me saying, oh, you should do this, or you should be seen there. I just kind of trusted my, instinct and went with it. And, I loved Penthouse once I saw it, and once I saw the Guccione shoots, I was like, okay, he has not shot anybody in 20 years, and now he wants to shoot me specifically. This is pretty cool, because they were hiring freelance photographers by then to shoot the centerfold. But he wanted to. So something in me made him want to flash back to that, soft focus, misty kind of way that he shot in the early days of the magazine. So I was honored that he wanted to shoot me, and I went for it.
Well, I'm glad you were in Penthouse because I need a little redemption. Last year, I interviewed this one actress. She was in Penthouse, and I brain farted and thought that Penthouse was Hustler, and I cannot stand Hustler. I think it's a very trashy magazine, right? So I said to her that Penthouse was trashy, and she hung up on me after only 3 minutes.
Well, yeah, you got it wrong. You got to do your homework before you do those interviews, I tell you.
Yeah, it was just a brain fart. So just for the record, I love Penthouse, but I can't stand Hustler.
Hustler's very one-dimensional. It's very audience for it. Of course, there's a lot of guys and women who do like that kind of thing.
And of course, Playboy.
Oh, Playboy's classic. I was approached by them too, but for some reason I really clicked with Guccione. His wife was from South Africa.
Mm-hmm.
They had flown out there in the very early 80s to see me perform. And then they tried to track me down again in Paris. And then, they just wouldn't leave me alone. So I said, I guess I'm going to go with Penthouse instead of Playboy.
Yeah. So what year did you move to Los Angeles?
It was kind of a fluke. I was, making the big bucks, having a very good life in the end of '89,
mm-hmm.
performing as a principal performer at the Lido and doing the runway shows, doing a little bit of French television. So I had no reason to leave. It was magical. The dollar was so strong. The francs, with 10 francs to the dollar, it was a great life. But I had a very close dancer friend, bless his heart, bless his soul in heaven, who was diagnosed with AIDS.
Oh.
There I had this there we go, a very personal experience with a very close dancer friend of mine who is American. He was living in Hollywood. He had done one contract with me a couple of years prior.
Mm-hmm.
We really connected, and he was HIV positive. So I said, all right, during my little break that I had, I'll fly to LA and see Michael. And that was in 89.
Wow, 89. And that was like coming out there right after like the writer's strike and all that stuff that happened in 88.
Exactly. I actually flew into LA during the writer's strike, and Freddie Mercury had just been diagnosed.
Mm-hmm.
And it started to touch, close to home for me, because I was a huge fan of Freddie and Queen and all that. And now my very dear friend was diagnosed. So I was compelled to go see him. So I arrived with one suitcase, and he was in such a dire situation with his family having rejected him, that I stayed. I stayed for 4 years with one little suitcase. I thought I was just going to go back to Paris, continue my lavish life, having coffee with Grace Jones and, hanging out with fascinating people. But no, I couldn't leave. I got to Hollywood, and I called Paris, and I said, I'm not renewing my contract. I have to stay here. So there I was with my dear friend, already pretty incapacitated with the disease. Such a gifted comedian. He was amazing. He was like a triple threat, Amazing dancer, physical comedian, dramatic actor. He would have been on, I don't know, Friends or something. Eventually, he would have gotten a big,
Yeah.
So gifted. Anyway, so I had to step in and take care of the situation. I got an agent as quick as I could for music videos. I mean, I wasn't really an actor when I got there.
Mm-hmm.
I was a stage performer with some acting training from, Comedy Française. So I said, okay, music videos seem to be the thing. I'm a dancer. I mean, so I made a lot of music videos. When I started mentioning them, people start Googling them and trying to find them, and you see me dancing in so many videos, you will not even believe it's me.
Well,
and that was one of my fortes, was being a chameleon. I could just put on a different color wig and pick up an accent or something, and nobody would know it's me. So I did a lot of that, and I'm sure you know, Cinemax, Showtime, erotic thrillers.
Yep.
That was the thing to do. They were quick movies done with pretty good budgets, and oh my goodness, when they found out that I wasn't afraid of being, semi-nude,
Yeah.
they were like, "Oh, get Delia Sheppard. She doesn't mind doing topless stuff. She was in the Lido de Paris. She's easy to take her clothes." So, and you know what? I had to support Michael. I had to friggin' make X amount of Screen Actors Guild income to qualify for medical insurance.
Yeah.
So I said no to nothing.
Yeah.
With all the Jim Wynorskis and the Gregory Starks, and they were like, "Oh, get Delia Sheppard. She can kind of act. She's comfortable with the love scenes." So they really took advantage of me real good. But I didn't know any different. I didn't know it would harm my A-list potential in the future.
Yeah.
Of course it did. Of course it did.
IMDb does not list any of the music videos you were in. What was some of them?
Oh my gosh, I didn't even put it on my resume. I mean, that was just bread and butter. You show up, you shoot for 14 hours, you're absolutely fried. They give you pretty good money, and then you move on to the next one. But I was in Princess Cream. I was in Princess
right.
Diamonds and Pearls.
Oh, yeah.
I was in Bob Seger and the Bob Seger video. I mean,
Any of the LA heavy metal bands?
Yes, I worked with not Guns N' Roses, with Skid Row.
Skid Row, yeah.
Sebastian Bach. I mean, all those boys. I did a lot of the. What's his name? Douglas Clusier shot a lot of those videos. He worked for everybody. Ken Marcus shot a lot of them. I remember the name directors better than the groups because coming of her, you know.
Yeah.
White Snake, they always had a lot of backup dancers, sexy girls. And
White Snake, yeah.
Good, thigh-high boots. No, yeah. Luckily, I caught that wave, you know, because it was a time. Starting at 89, you know, with MTV and stuff being popular, very visible, visual way of presenting music. So any dancer was cranking it out. We were working so hard. Because sometimes we had to learn the choreography like 2 days before.
Yeah.
You had to dance behind the lead singer, you know, in synchronicity. So you had to know your stuff as a dancer.
Absolutely, yeah.
Very little time to learn combinations.
Yeah. I see you studied at the Stella Adler Conservatory of Acting. That's the LA one, of course, right?
Yeah, that was the one on Gower. It was in Ghetto. Oh, my goodness. That was on, like, Gower and
Sunset?
Hollywood Boulevard, pretty much. Sunset, yeah, area. But, you know, once I saw the situation with Michael, and I said, look, people are responding to me. I'm getting all these... I go to an audition for a movie, and boom, I get it. So I thought, I might as well ride this out. And I don't want to show up without the right tools, you know, as just a dancer or the model trying to become an actress. What a cliche. I wanted to have the right tools because my ballet training since 9 had given me that discipline of, you know, you got to show up with the right ammunition. So I said, okay, Michael, I'm here. Don't worry. We'll make it work. And I started at Stella Adler Conservatory. I started at the Groundlings in 1990. And I was taking class at night and running to auditions in the day. Claiming a job here and there. Working, you know, for Jim Wynorski on a 10-day shoot with 17-hour days and no craft service. But, you know, it was always amazing. The end result was always worth it.
Yeah.
Yes, Stella Adler was amazing. She was still alive and teaching. And then I was actually in class with David Duchovny, I think, at the time.
David Duchovny.
In the back row, he never was very interactive in the improv sections of class. He was a nice guy, good-looking guy, and everybody said, "Oh, he's gonna score something one of these days." And boom, you know, next thing he got X-Files, and I read opposite him for X-Files, Scully, and you know, my hair was red at the time. I had just done Rocky V, and they ended up going with a redhead, but she's like, you know, 5'2". They wanted her to look petite next to David, who was only 6'2", and I was kind of towering over him. So, but X-Files would have done me well.
Oh, yeah. You would have been great for that role, you know.
Well, for freaking 10 years or something. It was insane.
Yeah, they had a couple movies, too, of it.
Yeah, but look, you know, sometimes those things are like, it's a double-edged sword, Tommy. When you get a series like that and you throw your life into it, it's very seldom that someone can really break away from a role like that. You know, she will forever be known as Scully, and she's not working much, you know?
Yeah.
After that, so, I mean, Duchovny did Californication, he's done some other stuff, but you don't hear about him much anymore. You know, they will always be known as Fox, Mulder, and Scully.
Mulder and Scully, yeah.
Mulder and Scully, yeah.
But I'm sure they're set for life in the money department.
Yeah, I mean, you make enough residuals, for goodness sake, with all the reruns and the movies that come out of it. But as an actor, it can be frustrating because literally no one will hire you after that because that's what people see you as, you know?
Yeah.
I mean, Sly is pretty good because he's now become a character, you know, because first with Rocky too, you know, people know him as Rocky and then Rambo, but that was enough for him to have a career out of just being those guys.
Yeah.
You know, when I see him in something like Guardians of the Galaxy doing you know, a character role, I still see him as Rocky or Rambo because I don't see him as the character that he's playing, but that's never hurt him.
Not at all. I remember when Roger Ebert wrote the review for the first Rocky, he said that Stallone had the potential to be the next Marlon Brando because of his mumbled diction and the fact that he he was so good in that movie, you know, but his career took a different turn, and he just became a mindless action star, you know.
Yeah, but I think of him as kind of he's in a unique situation because he's such a colorful person. I mean, he's a very multi-dimensional person in real life. You know, he's an amazing painter. He's so much. He's brilliant. He's like a walking encyclopedia, and people don't know that because he plays, you know, somebody who's had brain damage in the boxing ring. But so when he plays just a smaller role in Guardians of the Galaxy, he's entertaining to watch because he's the one and only. You know, nobody else looks like him or acts like him or talks like him.
Nope.
You still enjoy watching him, even if he plays another character. Not everybody's set out to be a 100% chameleon like a De Niro or you know, they can take on all these different roles.
Yeah. Who was at the Groundlings when you were there?
Oh my gosh, I can't even remember. But I think Will Ferrell was either taking classes or doing some special workshops.
Yeah.
Jim Carrey was an unknown. Do you understand how old I am? Jim Carrey was an unknown. He used to sit in this little coffee shop on 6th Street and just basically, he was like, you know, begging for money almost. You know, can you spot me a coffee? You know, I'm waiting for a residual check or something.
Yeah.
And he'd always be sitting in the corner with a script and either pretending or really trying to memorize it out loud. He was a character, Jim Carrey, and he hadn't even gotten, you know, in living color yet.
Yeah, I mean, I know because I know a lot of the Groundlings who started the company, and I know some from that generation, like Steve Hibbert, who was married to Julia Sweeney, who they were both there, and of course Mindy Sterling, and then there's Phil LaMarr.
Yes. Sweeney was there for sure. She was still very active. Yeah.
She's very funny. Yeah.
I know.
Did you try to get into the main company?
I didn't really. I thought of it as training. You know, I didn't want to just limit myself because I knew there was no money in it. Listen, I had to suddenly pay for a mortgage for a house in the Hollywood Hills where I joined Michael. I had to pay for his medical bill. Some of it was eventually covered by SAG as a spouse. So that was a whole other chapter.
Wow.
But I had to make money, and the Groundlings wasn't going to make money. He's not going to put bread on the table for Michael and I, or pay for his doctoral visit. So, you know.
Yeah. So let's get into the movie roles. You made a huge on-screen splash, I think, in Witchcraft 2, The Temptress. I love that movie.
I still love that movie.
Yeah.
It was so empowering to play such an evil, you know, just groomed for mischief character, you know, and I've always been drawn to that. You know? I mean, those are the parts that people, I mean, a lot of actors enjoy because we cannot be that psychotic in real life without, you know, being incarcerated. So those are the parts that are fun. Love that.
Yeah. Who's crazier, Lloyd Kaufman or Michael Hers?
Probably Michael. I don't know.
Yeah. I follow Lloyd on Twitter every day. He's always posting hilarious stuff.
Yeah, he's more funny. He's like tongue in the cheek.
Yeah. How was working with Charles Solomon?
He was good for the role. He was one step behind everybody on, you know, anybody have an idea for the scene? He'd be like, nope, just tell me what to do, you know. You know, sometimes you workshop the scene and you want some input and how we can make it more edgy. And he was just that mellow actor that was perfect for the part. That was, you know, very easily taken advantage of. He surprises everybody in the end. Ooh.
Yeah. I like Jay Richardson.
A couple movies after that. I think he did 3 or 4 more, didn't he?
Yeah, he did quite a few. As did Jay Richardson. I'm trying to get him on the show.
Love Jay. Jay's he's very interactive. He'll probably give you a nice chat. You can reach out to him on LinkedIn as well.
Yeah, I reached out to him on Facebook, but maybe I could try LinkedIn too.
He's quite active still as, in the business. He's directing. He's producing his own stuff. So I love Jay. I did I think I did 3 or 4 movies with Jay. And we had the most fun in the love scenes. Oh my gosh. We cracked up every freaking time. They had to stop, camp. Okay. Let's start over, guys. We would make extra, animalistic noises and groaning, and then they'd have to cut because we had too much fun.
Wow. And then you worked with another guest of mine, Linnea Quigley, in Sex Bomb.
Oh, she was so hilarious.
Yeah.
She reminded me of, oh gosh, I forgot her name now. Chris, who was it? The guy from Guardians of the Galaxy. Chris Pratt.
Uh-huh. I know who you're talking about.
Chris Pratt was just married to a little blonde. That's very funny. What's her name? They're separated. Tiny little blonde. Chris Pratt's ex-wife. Anyway, they have a baby together.
Mm-hmm.
He totally looks like Linnea Quigley, talks like her, acts like her, and she has a huge career. I always think when I see her, I think, oh, Linnea Quigley really could have gone further. I don't know what she's up to, but she is naturally very funny.
I talk to her all the time. She's been on the podcast 3 times, and she interviewed me for her documentary. Hopefully it's going to be coming out soon. She's just doing movies, and when quarantine's not starting, she has, convention appearances and movies and all that stuff.
She's got a good following. I always thought she was really talented.
Yeah, she's very talented. Oh, and it's Anna Faris you're talking about, right?
Yes, you got it, Anna Faris.
Yeah. Yeah, sometimes she's blonde, sometimes she's dark-haired.
Well, they all change. We all do. We have to, otherwise we won't be working.
Yeah. You had some small roles in 2 Oliver Stone movies, Born on the 4th of July and Any Given Sunday. How did that come about?
I met Oliver in New York in, was it 1988?
Mm-hmm.
Yes, I went to the premiere of, I think it was, Platoon or something of his had just premiered. And, he knew the group that I was hanging out with in Paris. I was hanging out with Malkovich and, John Malkovich and people like John Lurie and Christopher Walken. There was this whole clique of kind of jazz club, tango, kind of an underground club that all these people kind of hung out there, and that's how I connected with them. I started tango dancing with Christopher Walken, like 88. I mean, he's a beautiful dancer, and he's like 6'3". So that kind of brought me to Platoon and Oliver, and these were Oliver's friends too. Mm-hmm. I met Oliver for that, and lo and behold, although it's not on IMDb for some silly reason, my first film with Oliver was The Doors. I was shooting The Doors while I was shooting Rocky V, and I thought I'd gone to heaven. I'm working on 2 freaking studio pictures in 1 year, and I've only been here 3 months. It was incredible.
Wow, I didn't even realize you were in The Doors. A friend of mine was in that, Jennifer Rubin.
I know Jennifer, of course, yes. I worked with Jennifer closely, and we kind of, I think we shared a trailer at one point.
Yeah, she's really funny.
Yeah, so I played kind of this fantasy character of Morrison's, when he's at film school and he's doing his own little movie.
Yeah.
As a thesis, kind of. I'm in that movie in black and white, standing on top of the television while Hitler is, dictating in his lingo, and I'm on top of the television and I'm actually dancing, and then it becomes reality, and I jump down, and all the Doors guys at their early stages in their Venice Beach ages are dancing around me, and it becomes this kind of shamanic, is this a dream or is it not? And then I appear throughout the film in a very kind of a cute blonde bob wig with big black shades.
Yeah.
You see me at the whiskey, a go-go. You see him, visualizing me walking towards him on Venice Beach in the bright daylight, eating an ice cream. So I'm kind of living in Jim's head in the film, you know.
Mm-hmm.
And then at the Thanksgiving, they had this big Thanksgiving meal at this house up in the Hollywood Hills, remember? And Meg Ryan starts, screaming at him because he's not paying attention to all her beautiful cooking, and then they eventually pull the turkey to pieces, and it's a big food fight.
Mm-hmm.
Because they're all obviously on LSD.
Yeah.
The food ends up on the walls instead. I mean, that scene very vividly getting soured in mashed sweet potato.
Yeah, I need to watch that movie again. It's been a while.
It's a trip. It still takes you right there. Oliver's so good at taking you exactly where he wants to take you.
Mm-hmm.
And we stay very close. Socially, always
Mm-hmm.
to hang out with. You never knew who was going to show up at our little gatherings at Chateau Marmont or Roxbury. You always had a booth at the Roxbury available to
Yeah.
come in and crash. And that's when I was, close with Michael Wincott. Michael and I were kind of but
You could say it.
Willem Dafoe. I ended up studying with Willem, and he's then partner Elizabeth Lecomte at the Worcester Group in New York.
Mm-hmm.
This is all beautiful times I wouldn't change.
Mm-hmm. You were my third guest from the Adventures of Ford Fairlane. I talked to Monique Mannon a couple weeks ago, and Maddie Corman, who played Zuzu Pedals. She's been on numerous times. How was that experience?
It's a cult movie. I love that movie. I'm glad I was in it. It was fun.
Yeah, it's just, I love Andrew Dice Clay. He's so hilarious.
Andrew was he was coming up. He was getting a lot of attention at the time, and he carried that movie. He did a great job, and it was, of course, some great cameos. Wayne Newton was in it. And
Morris Day and Vince Neil.
Ed O'Neill and Vince Neil.
Yeah.
Ed O'Neill was so hilarious in it,
and one of your pussycats was Pamela Adlon back when she was Pamela Siegel.
Pamela Siegel. We shared a trailer.
Yeah.
Great little bookworm, very smart. Very smart.
She can make a wisecrack like no other.
Oh yeah. Yes. Very smart.
She's hilarious. Yeah. My earliest memory of you, though, was in Rocky V.
Can you repeat the question?
Oh, I said my earliest memory of you was in Rocky V, which you mentioned.
That's probably the biggest,
yeah,
what they call a studio picture that first came out. Although I shot the doors at the same time. Rocky came out before, and that's when people noticed, this redhead. I was very much a platinum blonde when I went in for the audition. And, one of those weird auditions, too. I was at the gym on, I think it was on Highland and Hollywood Boulevard or somewhere, and I checked my machine, because you had to call into your home machine to see if your agent had left you a message. We didn't have beepers or cell phones at the time. So I said, oh my goodness, another Rocky movie? Another Rocky movie? I don't have time to go home and get a cute little mini dress to put on. So I went straight from the gym to the audition because, it was just too much traffic to drive all the way up Laurel Canyon to go home and get fancy and pretty.
Yeah.
And I knew I wouldn't get it. I was like, they're going to have 200 perfect California Barbie dolls show up with perfect little noses and perfect little legs. And, I'll go anyway, whatever.
Mm-hmm.
It always looked bad if your agent sent you to an audition and you said, I don't want to go. So you always go. But I just had a feeling that I didn't have a shot. And I did walk into 200 gorgeous girls, and so that made me even more relaxed. I was like, I'll never get it. I'm just going to be goofy me. So they taped me in my gym clothes, being goofy, doing this, doing that, pouting. And I'm like, bye-bye. See you never. And I was kind of a smartass, I must tell you, on the audition day. got to have you. I don't know what it is about you. We had something completely different in mind, but we want you in the movie. And I was like, look, first of all, I'm not going to be your girlfriend. I'm going to be just your friend. So from the get-go, we had a really cool lingo going on, and I put my cards on the table, and I said, okay, what do you want to do? What do you want to do with this character? Because I obviously don't look like it. And he goes, well, we'll need to turn your hair red. I want to make your hair red, and I want the style to look like Kim Basinger looked in The Natural. The bangs and the little bob, very,
Mm-hmm.
So, you want to turn my blonde hair red? It was so hard to get out afterwards. Oh, no. And then I was like, no, I'm just kidding. Do anything. I want to be part of it. I love boxing. I've always been into boxing since I was a little girl. I had such a dual personality, loving ballet and boxing. But, and John Avildsen read me, and he said, she's perfect. She's perfect. So there I was in Philadelphia for almost 6 months shooting.
Mm-hmm.
The movie went on and on and on, and I wasn't complaining. I was making a big fat paycheck every week. Sly kept rewriting the script. I mean, it was the longest movie shoot in the history of mankind, but I loved every minute of it.
Oh, that's good. Was John G. Avildsen tough? I heard he could be tough at times.
Since he did the first one, he was very specific about the look and the feel of Five that he wanted.
Mm-hmm.
He wanted to go back to the neighborhood. He wanted to have Sly have a boy of his own, and I enjoyed John. He was difficult to read, but if he did pay attention to you on the set, you took note of it, because that meant that he was interested in having your character at least be relevant. I played the arm candy girlfriend, with the fur coat a couple of times before, and knew that Rocky was going to be exactly the same thing. I'm sure Sly is able to write a good role for a woman, but that was never his forte.
Yeah.
He writes a really good role for the testosterone crowd, but he didn't really flesh out my character or anything, and I didn't expect that. It was not about her. She was just a tool to pull Tommy Morrison away from the promoters. I mean, from Sly to be with the promoters, with the money guy. So she was just a pawn character, but it was still fun to be around and part of the production.
Yeah, and they got into a street brawl at the end, which was a big departure from, the big fights at the end of the first floor. At the time I had no appreciation for it because I was in a comfort zone with those, big old boxing matches. But as I look back now, that was a pretty good idea to do a street brawl.
Yeah, and we did go back twice. Actually, we shot it, he came back to look at it, he hated it. We went back again. The whole crew, everybody goes back. After we shoot the people in the background. Then we went back a third time. It was already snowing, winter, completely different. I mean, and then they went with that last take.
Wow.
He was winning a bit more. And then, ends up banging him up against the bus, and then it's becoming like, oh, this is it. Rocky has no chance, and then it turns a little bit more.
Mm-hmm. Then you worked with another guest of mine, Fred Olin Ray, on Haunting Fear.
I really had a good rapport with Fred. He has such a great vision for horror,
Mm-hmm.
And I like all the Edgar Allan Poe, flavored stuff. It's so dark and it's tempestuous, and you have these characters that you can never be in real life. So it's always fun to play those people that are just, born dark. Because I'm so zen in my real personality. So it's interesting to go there as an actor.
Brink Stevens, she won't do my show. She's become very PC. I've seen the last few years, especially in movie roles that she does, and the few interviews that she's done. I think she's kind of ashamed of movies like this that she did and stuff. But
you can't erase it. That's a problem. These people really go, I don't want to acknowledge my past. Okay, well then don't. It's fine. But you know what? That past me
Oh yeah, I mean she will talk about them, but I think that she wishes that she hadn't done them, which is sad.
It's understandable. Some people can't handle the past, but I mean, you sleep in the bed that you make, and you can detour and become suddenly a serious actress if they allow you to. It's they that usually have to give you permission. The industry. Or have you damaged yourself too much to now be in an A-list film? How many likes do you have? How many followers do you have?
Yeah. I can't stand that.
You
Yeah.
can go to an audition these days, and people not ask, how active are you on social media?
Yeah.
Give a shit if you can act.
Yeah.
How many followers do you have? So they're basically using you as a marketing tool,
Yeah. Like when I interviewed Monique Parent, another co-star of yours, she did not want to talk about any movie she did in the past. She just wanted to talk about the 2 or 3 that she had out at the moment. We could talk about how, she got interested in acting and the classes that she took and so forth, but I could not ask about secret games or anything.
Ridiculous. Anyway, it's each to their own. I'm not embarrassed about any choices I've made. There was always a good reason why I did it. And,
Yeah.
I support my friend for 4 years. For 4 years, I didn't have to wait tables. I didn't have to, do anything I really didn't want to do.
Mm-hmm.
The shower scenes and the love scenes, that was that was part of the 80s erotic thrillers.
Yep.
I knew what I was walking into when I went and read for them,
Mm-hmm.
But I also had to make a freaking living. And now you're going to regret that? I regret that I had to make a living. Okay.
Yeah. It's weird. It's just lots of things going on. But how was working with Michael Berryman on Haunting Fair?
All of it was good.
Mm-hmm.
It was good. There was never one character that I didn't like to work with, or one actor. They were all part of the game, especially making those movies for next to nothing. Nobody freaking complained.
Mm-hmm.
They gave us Ritz crackers for craft service, and that was it. But who's going to complain? So, if you want to complain, then you're in the wrong place. And well, we were so creative with so little money. I mean, I don't regret that at all.
Was it Ritz crackers and bottled water?
No, you had to bring your own water.
Oh, wow.
No, it wasn't that bad. But
we just
guerrilla filmmaking. There's something very organic about guerrilla filmmaking. When you're like, okay, we got to be out of here by such and such a time.
Yeah.
A permit's we could only afford a permit from such, and just the pressure, and you becoming very economical, and some beautiful stuff comes out of that. I mean, yes, of course I had a blast on the Doors or any given Sunday where it's like, 200 frickin' million budget, and but everybody's so damn comfortable, and there's so many riggers and so many lighting people that are just standing around picking their noses, and everything is kind of dragging on, and then, okay, take 54, let's do take 54. By then it's so stale, so the part about low-budget films is, okay, it's like, okay, we're doing this in 3 takes.
Mm-hmm.
That's it, boom, and we're moving on. And sometimes that pressure and that economical, restriction can be very, very stimulating.
Mm-hmm. You did a movie called Gypsy, and we just lost Stuart Whitman, who's a legend.
Oh, I love Gypsy. Gypsy was such a great movie. It was made for $25.
$25?
I think I made $25 on it. No, they took us out to some ravine,
Mm-hmm.
an hour out of L.A., and it was I don't know, 85 degrees, no trailers, nothing, Bring a big hat. That was it. That was your trailer. But I loved shooting with Amir Sharvan and those people.
Mm-hmm. And then
David Carradine, I worked with a couple of times. He was so interesting.
Yeah, I interviewed his daughter. She's just like him, very, very eccentric.
I like family.
Yeah.
Yes, with Harold Diamond. Harold Diamond was fantastic. Unbelievable. Martial artist.
Mm-hmm.
He's a beautiful teacher still. He's, he's very respected in the Muay Thai world.
Mm-hmm.
Trained with him. I studied with him. Very spiritual, amazing, natural spiritual teacher. Harold Diamond. He was also in Rambo 3. He did the Muay Thai stick fight with Sly in Rambo 3.
I didn't even realize that.
No, that's Harold. That's Harold. Long hair.
Harold Diamond, yeah. And then you worked with Gary Graver on Roots of Evil.
I miss Gary. He died way too young. He's been gone a while, but such a mensch, He had such great insight. he was so fascinated with Orson Welles. Yeah.
Oh yeah, he started out working with Orson Welles, and then he did porn, and then he started doing the B movies.
Yeah, he did a little bit of everything, but he had a great appreciation for true filmmaking and honest storytelling. And I liked working with Gary, for sure, and his wife.
Yeah, and of course there's that classic moment when Brink kisses Deanna Lund, who I met at one of her last conventions before she died, and she was such a great lady. And I interviewed her daughter, Michelle Matheson, about 2 years ago.
Great.
Yeah. And then Delia Sheppard is in it. She's so hilarious and eccentric.
She was very goofy in it. I liked her energy, yeah.
Yeah. I love her. She's always making me laugh on Facebook and stuff.
So good.
I read that before Alex Cord was cast in the movie, Red Brown was going to play the role. And then after he dropped out, it was going to be Michael Pare. But then Alex Cord
Pare was very much, he was featured in those days. Michael Pare,
mm-hmm.
Vincent, They were tremendous. They were very underrated actors. They did their homework.
Mm-hmm. Tell me about working with Jim Wynorski on Secret Games.
Oh, Jim and I are still in touch.
Yeah.
Send him a happy birthday every week, every year. We check in with each other almost weekly when his mom was ill. No, he's a great friend. He's a great friend, and he's a real mensch, He's an East Coast guy, but he has so much warmth for an East Coast guy. So, Secret Game, so twisted. All the characters he gave me were always very interesting, and he pretty much left me alone. He knew I was going to show up, knowing my dialogue, and he said, okay, I'll give you 5 minutes warning, and, just be ready, and he'd pretty much just let me go as an actor, and let me do my thing, and trust me to make the character really, suspicious, or seductive, or cold. He really trusted me in my choices, which was nice,
Mm-hmm.
I shot with Tanya Roberts, and...
Oh, I heard she's a force to be reckoned with.
She is no joke, girl. She'll show up the next morning with a whole new script that she'd written the night before.
Mm-hmm.
And come to my trailer and say, I wrote some lines that are much better. They make us look much stronger as women. And I'm like, I've already done my homework, Tanya. I'm not going to go memorize lines now. And she was feisty, that one. Oof.
Mm-hmm. I had Sherry Shattuck on for the second time yesterday, coincidentally. And I had her record a plug for my show, which I used at the beginning of this episode. It's hilarious.
Okay, cool.
Yeah, she's a sweetheart, an absolute sweetheart. And then,
you record these, and when will you play them?
I'm sorry?
Do you pre-record these?
I pre-record these, yeah, and then I just upload it right after.
Okay, cool. So what station will it be on?
YouTube.
Oh, cool. Okay. And what will it be called?
It's called Splat from the Past.
Splat from the Past. Splat? So you do like your horror films, right? You kind of know a bit of a...
Love my horror films. I love, my erotica. And, I love all movies in general. And so when I first started doing this podcast, it was horror and sci-fi only. And then I decided not to limit myself. I decided to talk to everybody, And so I just say, Splat is a pun on horror, and it's also a pun on porn, because I talk to porn stars, too.
Yeah, of course. Yeah, a lot of them got their start in that,
Yeah, exactly. How about working with Sam Jones in Night Rhythms?
Oh, he was hot. He was in Captain America. Yeah.
I met him at a Comic-Con last year, and he was flirting with my mom in front of his own wife.
Oh, good for him. Good for him.
He wasn't being a creep or nothing, but he was really, really nice.
Yeah. Very, very, very nice guy and very good looking. And I expected him to stick around a while, and he did.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, Seth MacFarlane has kind of given him a resurgence by having a cameo in the first Ted movie.
Yes. Those things are definitely welcome. People like to do cameos or play themselves or make fun of themselves eventually. Some don't mind. And no, I was very excited to hopefully be part of the action movie genre.
Mm-hmm.
I had really studied hard in stage combat,
Mm-hmm.
when I was with the Comedy Française with my sword fighting and bow and arrow, and I never really got to take advantage of that the way I wanted to,
Yeah.
I read for Starship Troopers. I wanted to be in that so bad.
Oh.
Felt someone rocking it out. I love that movie. And Total Recall, I was called back several times to read for that.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Paul Verhoeven, so he considered you for those.
Yes, he read me for Basic Instinct too. And
Wow.
Girls, of course. I read for Showgirls, and actually it was Gina got the role that I read for.
Gina Gershon? Yeah. So did you leave L.A.?
What happened? I was there 4 years, and Michael passed. Michael eventually died at home, very peacefully, in 1994, January, about a week after the earthquake happened. Yeah, the 15th. And I was like, I'm out of here. I'm so done. The casting couch was so evident in that time. And if you didn't really play the game or hang out with the right people, you're pretty limited,
Yeah.
So I was kind of sick of the casting couch deal, and all the empty offers. Michael had passed. My heart was still in Paris. I had left an apartment there with all my belongings. I never went back after I thought I was coming for one weekend just to check on Michael, and so I had to kind of tidy that up, and I was done with Hollywood. I had met the Harvey Weinsteins, and I read from Miramax several times.
Ugh.
I knew all that shit was going down, and it wasn't my cup of tea, So I packed everything up, and once again, one of those serendipity of life situations, I got approached through my agent by Jeff Kutash. Now, Jeff Kutash was a very popular, very successful stage producer in Las Vegas in the 80s and 90s. And he had seen me in a Cinemax late night movie. Oops, can you hear me?
Yeah.
And he figured out, oh, okay, she's an actress now. And he remembered me from the Lido in Paris. He called my agent and said he wanted to offer me a show in Vegas. So I said, what? Are you kidding me? I'd love to go back dancing on stage. Oh, yes, I'm going to build the whole show around you. So I was lured to the Las Vegas desert after Hollywood, and I thought I'd do a quick stop in Vegas and go back to Paris. And I fell in love with Vegas. I danced again another 5 years on stage in that show with a pretty decent movie career behind me. And, I had a little bit of name recognition. And I pick and choose, maybe do one movie a year.
Mm-hmm.
So I did a couple others. I did, I did Big Short, Show.
Mm-hmm.
My phone's running out of battery. Anyway.
Do you know Bethany Wright?
Bethany?
Yeah.
Doesn't ring a bell, no.
She was a Marilyn Monroe impersonator in Vegas, and she was an actress. She never lived in Hollywood. She always lived in Vegas or Texas, and she's got a story like that. She got to a point where impersonating Marilyn Monroe in Vegas kept her employed, and movie, TV roles were starting to dry up, and that's what she's done for a long time.
Yeah.
But that's good, though, that at least you're happy now and stuff, and you can look back on all that stuff you did without any shame or bitterness or anything. Like,
I love it. And I went and got my degree in shamanism and medicine.
Mm-hmm.
I'm doing that. I'm practicing helping people feel awesome. I've always been interested in shamanism. Oh,
Yeah.
my phone's going to die. Was it almost 4 o'clock? You want me to call you back on another?
You want to plug it in, the charger?
No, I'm calling from a landline.
Okay, I'm almost done here. So what are you doing these days during quarantine?
Oh, that's exactly what I'm doing. I'm just staying really zen.
Just being zen.
I did a big picture edit, edit of all my old pictures, old headshots. Instead of keeping 500 headshots, now I'm just keeping one of each.
Nice.
Because everything's electronic now anyway, online, so I don't have to have boxes and boxes of headshots and resumes. Do you understand? We used to have to send them out by mail.
Yeah, back in the day. that's
so
not anymore. Yeah.
No, I've done a great closet detox.
Mm-hmm.
Good thing. And I'm writing a great book. I don't care if nobody reads it. It's been very cathartic for me to write it. Going from the ballet world into the cabaret world of Paris and fashion and Hollywood and so much casting couch. It's not even funny. It's a good read.
Yeah.
Some great stories about strange, all-nighters.
Mm-hmm. I love all-nighter stories.
Yeah. So it's a good read. If somebody wants to read it, they are welcome. But I'm working on that diligently every day.
I'm gonna check that book out. I'm gonna check it out.
I will let you know.
Awesome. So really quickly, there's a game that I like to engage my guests in. It's silly slumber party questions, and how this works is I ask you the question, you answer it, and then you ask me the same question, and I answer it.
Okay.
Delia, are you ticklish?
Yes. Tell me, are you ticklish?
I am very ticklish, yes. Is your belly button an innie or an outie?
My belly button is an innie. Is your belly button an innie or an outie?
It's an innie. What color are your toenails painted?
My toenails are painted bright blue right now. Kind of, I would say a royal blue, like the blue of the Royal Navy, but a little bit more like opalescent. What color are your toenails?
They are not colored right now. They're au naturel, but last time they were purple with sparkles.
Oh, nice. Okay, I like that.
Yeah. What would you say is your best personality trait?
What's your best personality trait?
My sense of empathy and the fact I have no filter.
Ooh, okay.
And then my favorite question, is there a stinky smell that just makes you gag?
The leaf blowers.
That's interesting. I never heard that one.
Is there a stinky smell that makes you gag?
Farts or feet.
Okay.
Yeah, I could tell that to anybody who has kids, and it doesn't affect them at all. Well, Delia, I thank you so much for coming on today. You're a gem of a lady.
Well, thank you. It's been so much fun to talk back and kind of, and flashback.
Yes, well, you're a very strong lady, and I can't wait till that book comes out. It's going to be a great read.
Okay, I'll let you know. Stay in touch, Tommy, okay?
Absolutely, let's stay in touch.
Yes. Take it easy. Stay zen.
I will. Have a great night. Bye-bye.
Oh, bye.
Well, there you have it. Delia Sheppard. Ain't she a sweetheart? Oh, what a nice lady, huh? And just like a lot of them from that era, a survivor of the casting couch. Fuck, when's that shit gonna end, you know? But it's getting better in Hollywood, so it shouldn't be much longer. If you like this video, everyone, please subscribe to my YouTube channel, add me as a friend on Facebook, join my Tommy Kovac comedian page on Facebook, follow me on Twitter and Instagram, and all that fun stuff. Well, that's all the time we have this week on Splat from the Past. Until next time, this is Tommy Throwback Kovac saying, there's no shame in living in the past, because the present sucks. Later, dudes!